Hey, hello, hi, and welcome. This is Tony Ross for TonyTeach.com, and this is me playing around again in Google Hangouts, doing something live instead of editing. And I did something, I think it was yesterday morning, that was talking about working with Toon Harmony, using drawing substitutions, and working with bone deformers. And what my experiments led me to find out is actually I'm probably going to need to use curve deformers. Sometimes I use bone deformers, sometimes I use curve deformers, depending on what the outcome is. But for what I needed, which is I was exporting an SWF, but that's a little more beyond of what I'm going to be telling you about today. But I found out that when you export an SWF, and that's the old Flash format, when you export an SWF from Toon, it doesn't really pay attention to bone deformers, but it does pay attention to curve deformers. Now, here's the bad news. If you only have Toon Harmony Essentials or Toon Harmony Advanced, you do not have access to curve deformers. Okay? Here's the good news. Because Harmony, or because Toon did this beautiful thing of monthly subscriptions, and they also have like downloads, so you can do it as a trial basis. Toon Harmony Premium is a beast, and one of the things that is worth the price alone is a curve deformer. What exactly is a curve deformer? Well, I'm going to scrub my playhead. This is another page and something we're working on. And just having these little characters here. You see the tail moving around. And then there's this little guy in the background. Let's make sure I bring this down so you can see that little worm in the background. He's like, "Hey, dudes, how you doing? I'm going to go back now." And he's gone. Okay, so what is a curve deformer? I'm going to redo Mr. Worm here. I'm going to turn him off. Let's see. La 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 la. Where did that worm go? Ah, he's only in one spot. Okay, let's drag him all the way to the beginning. Extend our exposure. Let's press F5. Okay, now I'm going to go back to camera view. Okay, there he is. He's just peeking over there. And what I want to do is I'm going to go to solo mode here so I can just see the worm. This is actually just one solid drawing. There's not even drawing substitutions here. But what I'm going to do is go to my rigging tool. And again, I'm in Harmony Premium, so I'm going to grab the curve mode. Curve mode, I'm going to zoom in so you can see exactly what I'm doing. I'll click and pull out here. And if you're familiar with working with Bezier curves, like points and handles, I'm clicking in, dragging out this other point, so I'm just going to match as close as I can the curve that's usually there. Now, if this were an arm or something like that, usually I just have the character drawn straight, but Chris drew this out already in a curve, so it's not a problem, so I'm going to work with it. All right, so now we've done that. Now I'm going to go to my transform tool. I'm not going to animate this guy just yet, but I want to show you. Boom. Yeah, that's the curve deformer. You know what? And I might do something. Let's undo some things real quick. Let's go back to our rig here. Now, going back to rigging, I can adjust how I'm going to build this. Maybe, just maybe, I might need to set this just on its backbone. Let's see how that works. See if that works any better. Okay, so let's go back here. You know what? I think I like that a lot better. Yep. So if you notice, this is doing like a type of distortion, but I like where this is landing a lot better, where it's distorted better. Get your groove on. Okay, let's see. All right, that's cool. Let's do Command Z, get you back down to normal. And let's do the following. Let's get you back off of solo. And let's turn on our animate button because we do want to animate. So where he needs to be happening, make sure I'm on the right layer. Where he needs to be doing something is right here. Let's drop in a keyframe, F6. And he'll come all the way up like 4 frames later. Nice little curve there. And you know what? I think I want you kind of hidden in the very beginning. So I'm going to bend this way down weird. Matter of fact, let's solo this to see exactly what I just did. Oh, he's really nasty, but he's hiding, so I don't really care. Okay, so he's going to come up like boom. And I'm going to do a little thing where I guess I want him to finally land there. So I'm going to move this key over a little bit. All right, and I'm going to do another key right after it. So he has the same move, but in the middle, I'm going to have him kind of go up, and so that way he'll rest into his pose. So, and make sure all of those are tweening. Let's do Command K and Command K. Maybe have them rest a little bit lower so it's a little more exaggerated. All right, not bad. So what I need to do now, I think I want to have him hold that for a little bit. Let's copy that keyframe, Command C. Let's go here to the end, Command V. Copy the other one. So I'm kind of pasting everything in reverse. Copy, Command V, copy, and then paste. And last but not least, I'm going to extend this little guy a little bit more so we have a little more room. So let's copy this last one, copy, and then Command paste for the last one. Now, if you're looking, a lot of stuff disappeared. Dude. Mainly because I didn't extend everything. It's only a few things. So let's go up here. By the way, if you notice that my screen just kind of went away and I'm just looking at the timeline, I've had a couple of people, and even myself, have done this before, where you're like, oh my gosh, where did my screen go? What happened? These little arrows here allow you, like these little arrows that says, okay, you can expand this, push this up, meaning push the timeline up and push that back down. Or the camera view, I can push that down or bring that back up. And almost, this is kind of set up throughout the interface. So anyway, going to go ahead and zoom out. So there are a couple of curved deformers throughout this piece. For instance, you saw the tail moving. If I turn on the rig so you can see it, that is what's going on with the tail. Just using a little curved deformer there. If you've ever watched a program like Bob's Burgers, if you don't know what Bob's Burgers is, Google it or YouTube it. Take a look at Bob's Burgers, and the main character, Bob, has these beautiful rubber hose arms. Bob's arms are very hairy, you know, and it's I'd actually go ahead and show it to you now, but you know what? No, I'm not going to do that. I'll try to keep any weird copyright flags out of my YouTube videos. But yeah, you do take some homework, you know, take a look at it. Characters like that are using the because they are using Harmony, so they're using curved deformers for the arms, which it saves you so much time. That's drawing things and then manipulating them using the different deformers. our little broom worm here. I think he's a broom worm. He's also got a curved deformer. Broom lizards, excuse me. It's a broom lizard. Okay, so here's, if you want to, I'm going to turn off the deformer here, the broom lizard. Let's turn it off, and I'll just scrub this. And these are just the drawing substitutions. But if you want to give them a little more life, wait, look at that curved deformer right there. Okay, so yeah. Oh, and when you basically do the deformer, it comes out with this long thing that says deformation worm 2. I just normally like coming in and making it DF. Like taking up as little room as possible on my timeline. So if you caught yesterday's little hangout that I was doing, again, I was in the process of this project, and I thought, you know what, let me share this. Some people might not, but might know about this. They might not know about it. So yeah, if you haven't had a chance, play around with the curve deformer. There's also an envelope deformer. I will have to do a tutorial on the envelope deformer because oh, second part of your homework. Disney has this thing called, oh man, it was called The Lion Guard or something like that. It's basically a series based off of the Lion King movies. And the first time I saw a clip of it, and it's a series, I saw a clip of it, I was like, is this the Lion King Part 3 or something like that? Because I've never watched any of the sequels. But they're using cutout characters, and we're using some very simple ones here, but they're using cutout characters in the Lion Guard, and they are using the heck out of envelope distortion, curve deformers, or let me say envelope deformers, excuse me, curve deformers, and all those things. So I like to say to people, this is not your daddy's cutout animation. This is this is some new stuff that's pretty crazy. So if you take, but anyway, thought I would share what's going on here. Yeah, I think the little worm actually came out pretty decent. I think I like that one better than the first one. Matter of fact, let's do this because I'd already had one made. Let's see, Deformation Worm 2. And maybe I'm going to grab these first keys here and offset them. And on top of that, I'm going to turn off my animate. Grab that first little guy. Let's see. Turn this on. And maybe I'll move him. Let's see if I can get away with this. Let's solo that first little worm guy. See if we can get away with moving him. All right, so I'd done one of these before. So I just did that one. So let's go. Right. So now I've got two of these guys. That's kind of cool. So it looks like a little two-headed worm. Huh? Yeah. Well, let's make him go all the way down. That's, well, make sure animate's on. I may actually do that. I'll run that by Chris and see what he thinks. Ah, wrong one. Okay. So we'll make sure you get in here. Come inside. Hide behind him because you're supposed to be hiding. That's kind of cool looking. maybe as you're coming all the way down, maybe we'll rock you a little bit forward. Zoom in, and we'll rotate you down at the bottom. Maybe we'll rotate the other one as well. Let's see. Show the deformer you're working with. So it's just a little subtle thing I'm doing at the end there. And what's cool about, matter of fact, I'll go ahead and select both the deformers here, both layers, and then click this little show selected deformations. You can see exactly what's happening with those little Bezier curves or the curve deformers. They're having fun. Okay, looks good. All right. So yeah, this is a project we were doing, and to keep everything going pretty quickly, we were trying to figure out a technique that we could knock out several pages of animation for a book without having to do full animation. So there are a couple of cheats we're using. For instance, if you look down at my frames per second, we're even working at 8 frames per second, which a lot of you are going, dude, why are you working at 8 frames a second? Well, because it's not going to film or video. This is actually going to an ebook. So we're trying out different little tricks to get some things done. So you may have seen a couple of tutorials we've posted on some of the software we're working with to do our ebooks. And I'll be having some classes coming out with that. So, but this is me mixing in almost everything that I've learned for over the last decade or more, working with interactivity and Flash, then working with animation. And so this particular ebook we're doing involves Toon Boom Harmony. It involves working with Adobe Flash or Adobe Animate now, and as well as the other program called PubCoder. So, and mixing JavaScript and HTML5 and all these other fun things. But it's going to be a pretty cool project, and I'm very excited about it. I'll let you guys know when we release it, because yeah, I'm kind of excited about it. Oh, dude, I even get to do a voiceover. It's because it's my project, and I wrote it. I was like, where are the monsters? They're over there. So anyway, I digress. So this has been Tony Ross for TonyTeach.com. Yes. Remember, keep it simple. Make it perfect. If you don't have time to make it perfect, rethink the idea. Have a good one. Raindrops and roses and whiskers on kittens.